What's something that most people don't know about being in Hatzalah?
Something that most people don't know is that they're not paid and that they get up in their own hours, like at any time, 2 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter. And people think that they're doing this for the money, but they're really just in it for helping.
People think that it's just 1 to 3 go on a call and it's done. After the call, you need to go to the garage, restock, and it's not so easy.
That not every Hatzalah man has a Hatzalah truck.
Most people don't know that being a Hatzalah could be really tricky because you don't know when you could get a call.
Everything that they get in return, they're gonna say, okay, fine, they get an ambulance and they fundraise, but they probably don't know about everything they get, everything else.
There's 2 different types, BLS and ALS. So BLS does different things than ALS.
Like free shows, and sometimes I get to go to events.
The radios and their equipment, and they see it, and they're like what's that? And they start asking tons of different questions and things.
Anything you want to tell the world about Hatzalah?
Just keep on supporting them, you might need them one day.
That you should always trust them and tell them the main thing that happened, because you know that they're going to be able to help you.
That some things about Hatzalah are very scary and you get in a lot of trouble with Hatzalah. I think that there's a lot of things that are really complicated in Hatzalah.
That even though Hatzalah means leaving your family and not spending the time that you want to spend with them, it is a very big thing to do, very special thing to do.
What's the funniest time you remember your father leaving on a call?
The funniest time was when we were in the pool upstate and a call came out and he was still in his swimsuit and he just jumped out and went on the call. And it was really funny seeing my dad soaking wet running across the field.
In Corona, a person came to my father and he said he had a red forehead. He asked, is it about Corona? And then my father asked him, did you daven on your porch? He said yes. So he said maybe it's a sunburn.
The funniest time I remember my father leaving on a call was when there was a call right on our block, and he was debating if he should go or not, and he finally decided that he would go, and he sneezed 3 times in the middle of answering.
It was after Purim. My father was tipsy, and my mother drove the car with lights and sirens to the call.
I don't think there was any funny times that he left.
Yeah, me neither.
How many times a day do you think your father goes on Hatzalah call?
It matters what day it is. Like if it's Shabbat, he'll go on like 15. If it's a weekday, then he'll go on 2.
3 to 5 a day, but in Corona it was 50 to 100 a day.
At least maybe either 1, 2, or 3.
On an average day, probably about 5-10 calls.
The most I've seen him do was maybe 3.
As a paramedic, he goes at least, like at the bare minimum, once a day, or probably at the most 3 to 5 a day.
I think he goes like 50 every month and like 10 every day.